दोस्तों आज हमारे साथ जुड़े थे प्रोफेसर गुरदास नुलकुर सर, जो डायरेक्टर है सेंटर फॉर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट एट गोखले इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इकोनॉमिक्स एंड पॉलिटिक्स पुणे. ही हैज़ ऑल्सो एन एक्सपर्टीज इन इकोलॉजिकल इकोनॉमिक्स, एनवायरमेंटल सस्टेनेबिलिटी एंड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट. उन्होंने काफ़ी सारी बुक्स लिखी है, उनमें से अनर्थशास्त्र इस बुक्स को काफ़ी अवार्ड मिले हैं. ही इज़ ऑल्सो एन एक्सपर्ट एडवाइजर फॉर यूएनएसकेप एंड गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र. इस पॉडकास्ट से आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा, तो ये पॉडकास्ट आप एंड तक ज़रूर देखना. Hello.
Thank you. Namaste.
Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Sir, firstly, sir, you were the panelist for Blue Zone event at COP29, sir. Sir, can you share us your experience there? And, sir, what international policies were discussed there that will benefit India in future, sir?
So COP29 was last year, which is at Azerbaijan in Baku. I was present. I was in the Blue Zone. So वहाँ पे अगर आपने पढ़ा होगा कि उसके बाद एक COP हो गया. Recently we have had the next COP. तो COP29 में मेन पॉइंट ऑफ डिस्कशन वाज लॉस एंड डैमेजेस क्लॉज, which how much would developed countries pay to the developing countries for the loss and damages that have been incurred due to climate. And this was directly towards climate action funding. So that was the point of contention. The consensus was not arrived. The figure was much less than what was expected by the developing nations, and therefore it carried on. So that was basic contention. But I had a good chance to meet up on several officials of various other countries, as well as to look at all the other displays and stalls which every nation has in the blue zone as well as the green zone.
Sir, what was responsible for Pune's growth?
This is a good question. If you look at history, Pune has been blessed with one of the best quality of waters that we have in the entire country. वी आर एट द फुटहिल्स ऑफ सह्याद्री. हम सह्याद्री पर्वत रांग जो है उसके फुटहिल्स पे है, एंड वी आर एट द सोर्स रीजन ऑफ ऑल द मेजर पेनिनसुलर रिवर्स. सो कृष्णा, गोदावरी, ये सब यहीं से आते हैं. लेकिन वी आर इन द कृष्णा रिवर बेसन. वी हैव पुणे सिटी हैज़ अबाउट 5 रिवर्स. वी हैव देव नदी, राम नदी, मुड़ा, मुठा एंड पवना रिवर्स इन आर कैचमेंट. तो ये जैसे ही बारिश गिरती है सह्याद्री के ऊपर, वो पूरा इतना अच्छा फ्रेश पानी जो आता है वो पुणे को मिलता है. देयर इज़ नो अपस्ट्रीम पोल्यूशन. वी हैव द बेस्ट क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर, एंड डेफिनेटली इन हिस्ट्री ड्रिंकिंग वाटर सप्लाई influence the choice of how cities grows. And thus I feel, to answer your question, that to a large extent the water availability and the quality of water that Pune got was responsible for the growth of the city, was one of the factors which was responsible for the growth of the city.
Sir, how does river naturally process their waste, and is there any tipping point where it loses its capacity to reach?
बिल्कुल. So every river has an inherent potential to purify itself. वो प्यूरिफिकेशन होता कैसे है? रिवर जो होती है वो फ्लोइंग होती है. तो फ्लोइंग से पहले क्या मिलता है आपको? द वाटर गेट्स सनलाइट. So sunlight is a very important factor in purification. Second is, as it flows over stones and rocks, it kind of gets aeration, which means it gets dissolved oxygen from the air. This dissolved oxygen is extremely important for aquatic life. Rooted vegetation आती है उसमें floating vegetation होती है, उसमें organisms होते हैं, crabs, mollusks. You have a variety of life forms in a river, and these life forms start processing the nutrients. जो भी हम waste डालते हैं वो processing करके, because they are finally nutrients. So these organisms start consuming the nutrients and they start processing the nutrients. The waste of these organisms is taken up by the plants, and therefore self purification starts happening. So अगर जब river 100-200 किलोमीटर आगे चली जाती है तो उसका पानी ऑटोमेटिकली प्यूरिफाई होने लगता है. तो ये कैपेसिटी का टिपिंग पॉइंट क्या है, ये आपने पूछा. द टिपिंग पॉइंट ऑफ दिस इज, one is when there is no fresh water in the river. Right now, if you look at Mula Mutha river, we are only adding sewage. Yes. There is hardly any fresh water in the river. So the load that human societies add, when it exceeds the assimilative capacity of the river, then purification नहीं होगा. Because natural capacity जो है river की वो exceed हो गई है. And why is that exceeded? There are a couple of reasons. The first and most important reason is excess pollution, less fresh water. Second reason is that the food chain in our rivers is broken. We don't have the variety of fish. We don't have the diversity of riparian vegetation. Riparian vegetation यानी banks के ऊपर जो vegetation होता है वो नहीं है। फ्लोटिंग वेजिटेशन नहीं है। फ्लोटिंग वेजिटेशन आज आपने देखा होगा कि पूरा हाइसिंथ से भरा हुआ है। हाइसिंथ एकदम इन्वेजिव वनस्पति है जो पूरे कवर कर देती है और उसके वजह से बाकी कोई फ्लोटिंग वेजिटेशन आता नहीं है। रूटेड वेजिटेशन भी चेंज हो गया है। वी हैव वेरी फ्यू non-native fish which are there, which are breeding. So the diversity of the river has reduced significantly and the pollution has increased significantly. These two factors are responsible that the self-purification capacity of the river is broken down.
As sir, you have mentioned that pollution has increased. Sir, what is the long-term economic cost to Pune if the rivers in Pune become completely toxic or dry up?
So if the rivers in Pune become completely toxic, the price will be paid by downstream communities. They'll be paid by Solapur. They'll be paid by उजनी डैम के आजू बाजू में रहते, भिगवंड में जो रहते, वो जो पानी यूज़ करते, वो जो खेती किसान जो पानी यूज़ करते, उनको पूरा हो जाएगा। हमको तो अच्छा पानी पानसेट से आ रहा है, उसके ऊपर तो कोई पोल्यूशन नहीं कर रहा है। खड़कवासला के ऊपर एक दो क्रिकेटवाड़ी एंड ऑल दैट, देर आर सम लोकेलिटीज़, but that pollution is much less than what we are polluting and giving it to. So the economic cost of Solapurkars and the downstream people is phenomenally high, and they are all small towns. They cannot afford to the kind of purification that is required to remove all the fecal matter and all the detergents that we have put in there.
Sir, any concrete and sir, what is one action or one concretable thing which one can do to मतलब stop the pollution in which was happening in rivers in Pune?
इट इज़ वेरी सिंपल। हम लोग जीवित नदी जो हमारा एक एसोसिएशन है उसमें से काफ़ी सालों से ये बात कर रहे हैं कि द पोल्यूशन स्टार्ट्स विद इन योर हाउस। कैसे होता है कि हमको पुणेकर को वी गेट लेट अस से वी गेट 150 लीटर्स ऑफ वाटर पर हेड पर डे। ओके, 150 लीटर्स ऑफ वाटर पर हेड पर डे, उसमें से हम पीते कितने हैं, हाउ मच डू वी कंज्यूम नॉट मोर देन अबाउट 10 लीटर्स ऑफ वाटर, राइट, फॉर कुकिंग, फॉर ईटिंग, फॉर ब्रीदिंग, फॉर ड्रिंकिंग, ऑल ऑफ दैट। रेस्ट ऑफ द वाटर इज ऑल गोइंग बैक एज सुएज। सो 150 लीटर्स पर डे, उसमें से 10 लीटर कंज्यूम कर दिया, 140 लीटर्स का सुएज पर डे पर हेड बनाते हैं। और ये जो पानी फ्रेश वाटर 150 लीटर्स आता है, तो 140 लीटर जब वापस जाता है उसमें टूथपेस्ट होता है, शैम्पू होता है, डिटर्जेंट्स होते हैं, फिनेल होता है, हाउस होल्ड केमिकल्स होते हैं, ऑल दैट इज पुट इन टू द 140 लीटर। सो वॉट वी कैन डू इज वी कैन stop this pollution which happens within our house. You don't have to stop pollution in the river, you have to stop pollution in the house. What goes to the river should be clean water. So we can reduce our usage of soaps and shampoos and cleaners. We can switch over to organic material. For example, दंतमंजन जो है वो नेचुरल मटेरियल है, वो अगर रिवर में गया भी तो इट इज़ न्यूट्रिएंट, इट इज़ यूजफुल फॉर द ऑर्गेनिज्म, इट इज़ नॉट केमिकल। जो केमिकल्स हम डालते हैं शैम्पू और टूथपेस्ट में जो आता है, उसमें से वो लाइफ एंड द एक्वेटिक इकोसिस्टम गेट्स हार्म्ड। सो फर्स्ट एंड द मोस्ट कॉन्क्रीट थिंग दैट Punekars can do is to reduce their usage of chemicals in the household and to switch over to much more eco-friendly options which are now available everywhere.
Sir, how can we shift the narrative of our next generation that they don't grow up viewing polluted river as normals?
So ये स्कूल एजुकेशन से ही स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक वी हैव टू टेक ऑल आवर स्कूल चिल्ड्रन टू द रिवर्स। We must take them. We take them to exotic places, we take them to SL World, सब जगह देते, लेकिन जहाँ से पानी आता है, जहाँ से हमारा जीवन है, जल जीवन बोलते हैं, वो ही दिखाती नहीं है। We don't take them to Urali Devachi where our garbage ends up. So this must be made mandatory in all schools that the school children are taken to the river. They are made to understand how important rivers and fresh water is for life. ये अगर रिलेशनशिप उस एज में बन जाती है ना, तो आगे जाके आदमी पोल्यूशन कम करता है। आज आई एम 60 years old, फॉर मी आई हैव पोल्यूटेड ऑल माई लाइफ बिकॉज आई हैड नेवर लर्न दिस इन स्कूल। इफ आई हैड लर्न दिस इन स्कूल, मे बी आई वुड हैव बीन अ बेटर citizen for the rivers. So that I think is the most important. The second is that there should be citizen watch for the rivers. Citizens अवेयर होने चाहिए कि अगर कोई डंपिंग करता है, अगर कोई निर्माल्य भी डंपिंग करता है, तो उसको पकड़ ले, उसको बुलाए, उसको बोल दे। So as citizens we have to do our duty. And the third ownership lies on the Pune Municipal Corporation. Pune Municipal Corporation का रोल इम्पॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन छोटा है। They are coming at the end of the pipe. So they have their work to do, they have vigilance, they have to impose penalties, वो सब करना है. But we have to start with ourselves and myself first.
सर जब हम इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो इंडिया की इकोनॉमी ग्रो हो रही है, तो उसके लिए सर एनर्जी की काफ़ी ज़रूरत है, पर अपन अगर हम दूसरे साइड देखेंगे तो इमिशंस भी काफ़ी हद तक हो रहे हैं सर, ग्रीन हाउस गैसेस इमिशन. एज एन इकोलॉजिकल इकोनॉमिस्ट, हाउ यू सी दिस सिचुएशन सर?
This situation is solvable. आज ग्रीन हाउस गैस एमिशंस क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि वी आर यूजिंग फॉसिल फ्यूल्स. फॉसिल फ्यूल्स यूज़ करते हैं, क्या करते हैं? वी यूज़ क्रूड ऑयल. क्रूड ऑयल से पेट्रोल बनता है, डीजल बनता है, वो सब फर्नेस ऑयल बनता है. यू नो ऑल दीज ऑयल्स विच वी आर कंज्यूमिंग एंड बर्निंग, दे आर रिलीजिंग ग्रीन हाउस गैसेज. दिस इज कार्बन विच वॉज सिक्वेस्टर्ड 100 मिलियन ईयर्स अगो. क्रूड ऑयल बनने के लिए तो 100-200 बिलियन ईयर्स, 240 बिलियन ईयर्स लग गए. So this was all the carbon which was trapped inside the earth. We take it out, we burn it and release that carbon. Okay. If you start using renewable energy, for example, if you start using solar energy, if you start using biomass based gases, then biomass based gases यानी क्या? We take grasses, we convert them into gas and use that gas to burn. तो ये जब हम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज करते हैं, तो this is carbon dioxide which was कैप्चर्ड लास्ट ईयर, बिकॉज ग्रासेस एक साल में ग्रो होते, एक साल के ग्रोथ में वो कैप्चर करते और फिर उसका गैस बना देते. वो गैस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज करता है बर्निंग के बाद. तो वी आर विद इन द नेचुरल कार्बन साइकिल. सो देन न्यू एमिशंस विल नॉट हैपन. सोलर इज अगेन सेम. वी आर यूजिंग सनलाइट and there is no emission there.
The use of solar has nowadays increased, sir.
Yes.
What is your view on that, sir?
सो सोलर का प्राइसेस जैसे कम होते जाते हैं वैसे वो इंक्रीज हो ही जाएगा. सो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी बढ़ते ही जा रही है, विच इज़ गुड. सो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी वी आर यूजिंग मोर. सोलर इज हैपनिंग. यू नो वी हैव टारगेट्स अबाउट हाउ मेनी गीगावाट्स वी वांट टू डू बिफोर दैट. सो इट इज़ इन वन वे गुड. वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ प्रॉब्लम आफ्टर 25 ईयर्स. ये सोलर पैनल्स का लाइफ खत्म होने के बाद इनका क्या बनाए?
सर ऐसा मतलब आई हैव रेड समवेयर दैट इंडिया ने मतलब ऐसा बोला है कि इन 2070 देयर विल बी नेट जीरो कार्बन इमिशन. इज इट ट्रू अकॉर्डिंग टू यू?
ट्रू है कि नहीं पता नहीं, बट इंटेंशन है कि नहीं इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. इंटेंशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट सीम्स टू बी देयर दैट दे आर क्रिएटिंग मोर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी. बट लाइक आई सेड, यू नो, बायोमास बेस्ड energy is much more viable for a country like India because we have ample sunlight, we have good quality soil, we have agricultural skills, we can grow, cultivate grasses and convert them into biogas. Okay. So we can also convert them into hydrogen later.
Okay. Sir, in Pune there is problem of garbage dumping. Everywhere there are मतलब बहुत जगह पे सर गार्बेज ऐसे ही ओपनली मतलब फेंक देते हैं. वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट नहीं है सर. What is your opinion on that कि हम वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट कैसे कर सकते हैं सर पुणे सिटी में?
So waste management again starts within your home. अगर हम सेग्रीगेशन नहीं करेंगे तो आगे जाके पुणे म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन कुछ नहीं कर पाएगी. सो विद इन आवर हाउस वी हैव टू सेग्रीगेट द सिस्टम. वी हैव टू क्रिएट द 5 bin सिस्टम वेयर प्लास्टिक अलग करे, मल्टी लेयर प्लास्टिक अलग करे, पेपर अलग करे, ग्लास अलग करे. ये सब चीज़ें अगर अलग नहीं करेंगे तो आगे जाके पुणे म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन क्या कर पाएगा? देयर इज हार्डली एनीथिंग वी. सो दस ऑल आवर सोल्यूशन स्टार्ट विद इन आवर हाउस एंड नॉट at the administration level.
सर जीडीपी को ग्रो करना एंड फॉसिल फ्यूल्स की डिपेंडेबिलिटी, सर इन दोनों में सर बेसिक डिफरेंस क्या है सर? आपको क्या लगता है कि हाउ कैन वी मेक द बैलेंस बिटवीन देम?
So GDP growth is, today's GDP growth is completely based upon fossil fuel.
Yes.
100% upon coal for India and by the transport vehicles. And therefore, very quickly switching over to renewable energy, to greener forms of energy is the only option which we have. Second, GDP growth hona chahiye kya is also something which is being discussed. You know, when GDP grows, it accounts for all the expenditure in the economy. So, for example, an accident on Pune-Mumbai highway adds to the GDP.
Yes.
War and terrorism adds to the GDP. So, it is all of GDP is not good GDP. There is only one portion of GDP which is beneficial to society. So, what part of the GDP can we grow is the question that we need to understand, and that is also the domain of ecological economics.
सर लोग अक्सर एनवायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स एंड इकोलॉजिकल इकोनॉमिक्स में कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं. आपको अगर किसी को समझाना होगा कि व्हाट इज एक्चुअली एनवायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स एंड इकोलॉजिकल इकोनॉमिक्स, तो आप उसे किस तरह समझाएंगे?
Environmental economics still relies on the fact that markets can solve problems, right? Which means valuing natural resources, taxing the polluters are things which are done in environmental economics. Valuation of ecosystem services, valuation of natural resources, green GDP, accounting for natural resources, all of these constitute environmental economics. Ecological economics, on the other hand, says that markets can't solve all the problems. But we have to look at a mechanism where consumption driven economic growth is replaced by well-being driven economic growth. Consumption driven economic growth is the dominant paradigm of every economic growth, where if we consume more, if we buy more mobile phones, if we buy more cars, the GDP goes up. But isse solve nahi hone wala hai. We have to look at what we buy. We have to be conscientious consumers. We have to be consumers who know what is the impact of what we buy and how we throw, how we use the products. So building circularity into product design is very important, not just recycle, but building products to be reused, repaired, repurposed, recycled. All of this is the starting point of the new economy. The second is looking at ecological restoration as a very important employment opportunity. There are large landscapes which need to be restored. There are streams which need to be restored. There's biodiversity which needs to be restored. There are grasslands which need to be restored. All of this can create huge job opportunities. There are government organizations which need their PSUs which need that. Large organizations like Defense and Indian Railways need to do that. So this can actually stimulate an economy while being beneficial to the ecology of the country.
Sir, policymakers often argue that strict environmental laws will often stall the urban development. As an ecological environmentalist, how do you see it?
Laws will not solve anything. Laws with proper implementation is required. Okay. If there are very strict laws and very poor implementation, then that results in bribery and corruption. Yes. Only when there are very strict laws and very strict implementation, only when then problems are solved. But that also is not the solution. The solution lies in making consumers understand the real value of nature, how intimately nature is connected to our survival, to our water cycle, to our hydrological cycle, to our food cycle, to photosynthesis, to our agriculture. That becomes the critical part, and this is what is missing in school education today. So thus, not just laws and implementation, but a fundamental understanding of how we are intimately connected to nature is what is much more important in my opinion.
सर, आपने यूनिसेफ, वर्ल्ड रिसोर्स इंस्टीट्यूट, इन सब इंस्टीट्यूट्स में काम किया है सर. सर, जो फंड्स प्रोवाइड होता है मतलब इंडिया के लिए, यू हैव ऑल्सो अ पैनलिस्ट इन COP29. So do you think that fund is sufficient? Because and in 2024 that $300 billion fund has मतलब दिया था मतलब एनवायरनमेंट सुधारने के लिए इंडिया के लिए. Do you think that fund is sufficient, sir? Or?
Certainly not. The fund is not sufficient. But there are many things which we can do beyond what is being funded. Okay. Right. So like I said, individual actions, family actions, household actions, they don't need money. We need to change our behavior with nature. We need to consume less. We need to use products more diligently and more frugally. All that doesn't need funds. So there is a large part which society themselves has to do. Okay. And the other part of improving what we have done, reducing waste, improving our water quality, improving air quality, all that requires funds. And then we will see whether the fund is enough or not.
Sir, how can we improve our air quality, sir? The pollution in Pune is very
high. By reducing the consumption of crude oil, by looking at vehicular traffic. Why are we so interested in having 2 cars in every house? Why do we not look at public transport as something which is very important? Why is metro rail coming to Pune in 2024? Why not 1990?
Yes.
There, if we would have had a very good bus system in 1990, then many people would not want to have bought a car. So reducing fuel consumption is the only way that we can solve our air quality problem. And then of course crop burning, residue, and there are many other. Construction and demolition waste is also creating a lot of air pollution.
Sir, crop burning residue is also one of the biggest problems.
One of the problems, yes.
Is there any solution for that, sir?
Forest fires are much more frequent in Maharashtra than crop burning. So forest fires in the Sahyadris, you would have noticed, the entire Sahyadri starts turning black after February. So all that has to be stopped immediately. अगर वो नहीं stop होगा तो air quality improve नहीं होगी.
Okay. सर इंडिया में डिफॉरेस्टेशन का भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. अगर हाईवे बन रहा है कहीं या रोड्स बन रहे हैं, मोस्टली सर जो बड़े बड़े पेड़ है सर उसे काट देते हैं. तो सर आपके दिमाग में ऐसा कोई सोल्यूशन है क्या कि अगर वहाँ से हाईवे या रोड जा रहा है तो प्लांट्स वहाँ के जो ट्रीज है उसे हम कैसे बचा सकते हैं सर?
तो एक तो रोड प्लानिंग हम कर सकते हैं. वी कैन डजेंट हैव टू बी अ स्ट्रेट रोड, नो, वी कैन हैव रोड्स विच हैव बेंड्स एंड meanders. तो वो तो है, लेकिन वो भी हम नहीं सोच रहे. पुराने जो ट्रीज़ है 100 साल 200 साल पुराने, वो तो बचाने ही चाहिए. अगर नए ट्रीज़ है तो ठीक है एक बार, but we have to save old trees, old growth trees. Now look at Pune city. You know, there are so many old growth trees which are going to be chopped down for riverfront projects, for tunnel projects and all of that. That can be stopped.
सर आपको अगर महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट के मतलब एनवायरमेंटल पैनल में बिठाया जाए तो एक कौन सी पॉलिसी चेंज करना चाहेंगे आप?
I think this crazy policy of planting 300 crore trees. You know, so we have to relook at that policy. That is
Why,
one.
sir? Can you?
Well, yeah, I mean 300 crore trees, we will have to make them survive for 3 years. What is the water that we will require for 3 years for 300 crore trees? Have we calculated that?
No.
We haven't. Where is that water going to come from? Who is going to water the plants? Who is going to monitor how they are going to survive? That's a big problem.
सर वो आपने बुक लिखी अनर्थशास्त्र. सर कैन यू टेल अस अबाउट दैट बुक? व्हाट इज एक्चुअली?
Anarthashastra is a book which says that, you know, how the current form of free market economics and consumption driven economic growth is leading to environmental problems and climate problems. So our consumption, our lifestyle, our priority that comfort and convenience have to be taking over everything else are something which are leading to this environmental crisis that we are facing now. So Anarthashastra is the book in Marathi and Ecology, Equity and Economy is the book in English. Both of them describe how this has systematically changed the situation where we are today in a nature emergency.
सर थोड़ा पुणे रिवर्स रिवाइवल के बारे में बताइए सर. आपने क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए थे?
So Pune River Revival is an informal association of various organizations which have come together essentially to protect, conserve and improve Pune's rivers. Many of us, when we cross any of the bridges, Rajaram Bridge, Aga Khan Bridge, Lakdi Bridge, whatever, we smell the river. We don't see the river. It's so bad today. So what all the citizens of Pune are saying that if first, even before doing the riverfront development project, improve the quality of water. So every drop of sewage that is going into the river must be treated. That is the fundamental thing that we are wanting. Second is this large scale riverfront development project, which is basically a concretization of the banks and channelization of the rivers, monoculture of trees, that has to be stopped. We want a riverfront developed, but that riverfront has to be an ecological model, not an engineered model. So that is the main reason that we have come together. And then stop the destruction of all these trees. You know, there are 6,000 trees, 64,000 trees which are going to go because of this riverfront. That is the only thing that we are asking of the rivers.
Sir, there is a Chipko movement which last year happened. 5,000 citizens gather and march वगैरह. आप भी सर उस इवेंट में पार्टिसिपेट थे. तो डू यू थिंक दैट द मार्च इज सोल्यूशन, मतलब जो आपने चिपको मूवमेंट की थी, दैट इज दिस अ सोल्यूशन फॉर दैट? मतलब
नो, activism is the last thing you want to do. First, you want to improve how citizens look at the river. Second is you want to create citizens watch. Third is you want to create citizen science. Fourth is you also have to help Pune Municipal Corporation to strengthen their hands. You have to blow the whistle when somebody is dumping things. You have to inform the PMC when somebody is doing something with the trees. So we also work with the PMC to help them catch these kind of culprits. And the last thing we want to do is activism. If nothing else is working, then we will go to the street. But first we want to help. We want to be working with the PMC.
So do you think the activism work?
Activism can work, definitely. It has worked in many times. Okay. The original Chipko movement of Sundarlal Bahuguna has worked very well.
In Pune, sir, there is always a problem of garbage, sewage. Sir, rainy season has arrived. पूरे मतलब रोड्स पे सर वाटर का मतलब डिस्पोजल प्रॉपर नहीं है. तो कैन यू सजेस्ट सम मेथड्स दैट मतलब ड्रेनेज सिस्टम के लिए कुछ मेथड बता सकते हैं पुणे में?
Storm water drains have to be improved in Pune. They are very old, you know, Peshwekalin storm water drain system. That is one. Second is the new roads which we are constructing. We don't look at the topography. We don't look at whether there is a depression or there is a undulation there. We have started flattening the lands, and when we start flattening the lands, then water is not going to reach the river. So therefore, all this water is now staying on our roads and not reaching the river. So we have to create these channels where the water will be directed towards the streams. We have many streams in Pune and the river. So ये urban planning का ही बात है, ये urban planning में ही करनी चाहिए.
So do you think the urban planning in Pune is not that well?
There are historical mistakes that we have made, but even now we can. There is scope
Because
of
sir, the service road is always busy and always there is water problem,
Yeah.
water logging problem there. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your precious time and the efforts you put in this conversation.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.